start discussing about the softs. So what happened on the soft market the last week? So the way we look at the sugar market was mostly on an uptrend. So whatever weakness that we saw from the 490 levels onwards it was bought. And this was basically driven by factors like the weakness in the dollar, that is strength in the Brazil real, and then followed by some sort of a buyback on the lows. So while we see the agri commodities, most of the weaknesses are not being sustained. That is because the global commodity market prices are still high. So that's the case with everyone. That's the case with all the markets. So you're basically seeing that whatever dips are there, they're being bought. And sugar is not come as an exception. So you have seen some kind of a dip which is bought, and we would see that it can still form a new high beyond 490. And on top of it, the volumes, as we see, the volumes are being very positive, constructive. And coming to the relative strength index, coming to the momentum, you can see that there is good support which is building up in the RSI on above 50, and I think there is more to go on the upside. Now getting to the next commodity, which is a coffee. Coffee has seen a lot of swings from 170 onwards. So where it has seen its rally go to 170, so it has come back to 150. So there's a lot much. So there is a lot much things happening with the coffee. So there is a spread unwind which has taken from 170 onwards. So as we see when the coffee prices went to 170, the spreads between the grade spread between Arabica and Robusta went as high as 93 cents. So which means that if you were to buy Arabica, you are going to spend more when compared to Robusta. Although the blends based Arabica were not being able to substitute. So this was basically the primary reason why there was the momentary pressure to build up Arabica. But however, the prices fell back to 150. But since then the prices have not been able to break below 150 convincingly, even though there was a dip to 148 and 147. So there was a fair bit of support which was building up. On the whole, coffee Arabica doesn't seem to be finding any selling below 150, while the net longs are being very positive. So this brings to note that while we are seeing the coffee prices are back to like say 164 cents or 164 cents, so we still have a lot of room to go back to like say 175 180 cents. Now talking about the Robusta. The Robusta is having a quite a tricky ride here. So Robusta is forming some kind of a pattern here, some kind of a diagonal to say. This is something to say that the rise is something which can be challenged as we go higher. So the trading range is getting narrowed to an extent that there is a high possibility of a volatility breakout. In a sense, there could be a strong breakout from here onwards and which can go extremely higher. So the possibility of it breaking above a certain resistances of like say 1800 sorts is more higher because the fact that there is a logistics problem which is specific to Asia. So you're seeing that the logistic issues in Asia are so high that most of the commodities there are finding bottlenecks to be transported to the places like Europe. So this is the main reason why there is a lot of squeeze which is happening in the contracts, and what we are seeing is the September and November months are seeing squeezes, and this is bringing to a situation where a lot of demand in the Europe is being rushed into the exchanges and not to the physical shipments. So that makes sense for Europeans because by the time the shipments are done, by the time shipments are awaited, so it's going to take a long time. But this is the first time, but these are the times where we have seen that the rush to buy the exchange stocks are being explored to the maximum because the reason that this pandemic hit. Because first of all, the pandemic hit gave a lot of issues like lockdowns. And secondly, there was, and when the lockdown were lifted, so you had the logistics issues. So all this put together has created a lot of interest in the exchange buying. Quality is subjective, however, but however, for from the roaster point of view, their operation seems to be running. So as long as the roaster doesn't have the issues to buy it from the exchange, to the extent of the quality, he is satisfied. So he is happy buying from the exchange. So that is why you are seeing drawdown in the exchange stocks. Coming to cocoa, seems to be quite okay because a lot of supplies are coming from the African nations. So there doesn't seem to be any big issue with respect to bottlenecks with the shipping from the African region. So that's the reason why you are saying that, and apart from there is a regular supply which is coming out. Apart from this plus dependent. So you're seeing this core prices seem to have found some kind of a base somewhere near 1,800 of sorts. 1,600, sorry, 1,600. So we would say that, since the volumes are also not that and you can see it. So this looks like a cyclical stocks more or less. So whatever weaknesses are there is big. So beyond 1,600, 1,050. So there isn't life left out. So you should be seeing getting back to 1,750, and this could be a good buying opportunity. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.